Hello, welcome. So these movements now are something that can be used anytime. So they're part of the Parwan Muktasana series of postures. Parwan means wind, Mukta means release, Asana, as I'm sure you know, means posture. So this is moving wind through the body. So that could sound like something else, but in this instance the wind actually means energy, prana. There are lots of different types of prana in the body, and that prana, that energy, can get stuck in the body. So there are these sequences of movements to get that energy flowing. So for this, if you need to, you can sit in a dining style chair or adapt your wheelchair if necessary. On the floor, I just think it's nice to have some padding. So I've got this lovely cushion that was made for me, absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to use that, and when I use a cushion, I kind of sit it on the diagonal so that I can place myself over the corner. And then I've got that extra little bit of support. You can, if you wish, use your yoga block. Okay, so let's settle ourselves in. If you want to use any mudra for your energy sealing, then you can feel free to do that. We'll just bring ourselves into a nice comfortable upright position. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. If not, take a downward soft gaze, no hard stares. Then we'll just inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose as well. So we'll do this a few times. And we feel the breath as steadiness, as being our anchor, bringing us to this moment to avoid any other distractions that might be there. So once you feel that you're comfortable, if we can, let's bring the soles of the feet together and just let your knees flop open. And for this, for some people, we might need the feet just further away from the body. Some people bring them in closer. Don't feel like you have to bring them all the way up into the hips. If you want to, you can, but we don't need to. So when we're doing the Parwan Muktasana sequences, we're always working with awareness. And the way to work with awareness is to keep our focus on breath. So this movement is called the butterfly. So imagine your knees are like a butterfly wings, and we're not just doing this kind of willy-nilly movement. We're using our inhale to draw the knees up towards your elbows, and then when your exhale happens, just let your knees relax. And it's recommended that we do each of the movements for maybe 8 minimum rounds. You could do more, but try and really keep that focus. So you breathe in, draw the knees upwards, keep everything else relaxed, and breathe out, let your knees, both knees, fall out to the sides. So I really like to bring mindfulness into all the practices. And because we're mindful, as we're present, we're just noticing all those sensations in our body as we move the knees up and down to warm up the hip area. So this is where we might notice discomforts or ease. And what we're trying to do is notice those sensations without judgments, without expectation, without labelling anything as good or bad, but just noticing maybe stiff, fluid, sore, comfortable, just noticing. And you might even notice maybe one knee goes down further than the other. So again, we don't judge it, we just recognise that maybe this part of our hip area needs a little bit of extra care and attention. And you might also notice after a few repetitions that your knees drop a little bit further. And again, that's no judgment, it's just how it is. So when you feel you've done enough of your butterfly, we're going to come into the half butterfly. So we'll begin with our right hip. So we'll straighten out the left knee. Some of you might need to keep your right foot on the floor inside your left leg, wherever it naturally arises. Some of us might be able to cross the right ankle, just resting it on the thigh, left thigh, so we can support that right foot with the left hand. And with our right hand, wherever we've gone to, we're just going to gently ease that knee closer to the floor on the exhale and just let it bounce back to its natural place on the inhale. And again, we're not judging it, we're not saying it's good, bad, wrong, right, better, worse, but we're noticing. Breathing out, ease your knee down. Breathing in, let your knee bounce back into its natural shape. And when you feel you've done enough here, try to keep your attention here as well. We draw your heel in close to your buttock, so we give the hip a little bit of rest, we're bringing it back into its neutral shape. And then obviously we've got to balance everything out, so we go to the opposite side. So I'm straightening my right leg out, bringing my left foot inside the right leg, falling out on the exhale, easing back in on the inhale. First level, when you've done a few of those, you might bring your left ankle, rest on your right thigh, ease down on the exhale, bounce back up on the inhale. So there's never any force, we're not straining anything, because although we're working on the physical level, actually the intention is moving energy. Moving prana, moving the wind in the body. And that wind can get trapped in the joints and causes issues there. So if you like, you can see these movements as a preventative measure. Stop that energy becoming trapped. And because we're working with prana, we're thinking about the breath, so we want the spine to be tall so we can breathe with ease. And again, when you've done enough, bring your left foot to the ground, hug your left knee into your chest, ease that hip down. Your leg's a little bit of a shake out just to get the energy moving, so any energy that was accumulated in the joint area, we're getting it flowing through. So now we're going to come into an easy sitting position. So my preferred movement for myself is cross-legged, but it's where you feel comfortable. And once again, I'm propped up a little bit because that alters the angle of my hip, means my knees can be more relaxed. What we don't really want is the knees coming right up towards the shoulders. We want the knees to be able to fall out. And we can do that safely just by lifting the hips ever so slightly with some kind of support. So we're just going to do a very, very simple twist. We're going to take our left hand around to our right knee, look over our right shoulder. And then right hand to the left knee, look over the left shoulder. So we maintain this length in the spine, because if we start to collapse, we're risking compressing those jelly-like discs between the vertebrae. So we're turning slowly, turn the head as well. Our spine is made to move in every direction. We don't always do that in daily life. So that kind of ringing around can be quite energising, can be quite balancing. So we come to a comfortable position. So again, if you prefer, you could sit on a chair. Not everybody's happy sitting on the floor. We're going to take the arms out in front. So we need to be sure that we don't block our energy, which we're trying to free up, by hunching the shoulders. So let the shoulders soften. And just notice, just experiment with yourself. If you were to lock your elbows out now, can you sense that tensing up your shoulders? So although we're straightening the arms in front of us, palms are facing up, We're trying not to lock those elbows to keep the shoulder relaxed. So this is just called elbow bending. So we inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend at the elbow, tap your shoulders, and we don't allow the elbows to drop. So it's a breath in, forward, notice. Breath out, fingertips to the shoulders, and notice. And again, maybe 10 repetitions. Keeping your mindful practice so you're noticing should you be tensing up. Again, don't judge that, it's not a failure, you're just noticing. And then we'll drop the elbows back down, release the arms. And just again, just to make sure we haven't tensed the shoulders, let's give them a roll. Get that energy moving through that very big, complex shoulder joints. Then we are ready to take the arms out to the sides. Palms are up. And again, checking that we haven't got that tension in the shoulders and we're not collapsing the spine. So we're comfortable. You could straighten the legs if you preferred. You could be kneeling. You could be sitting in the chair. So however you feel most comfortable. And we stretch the arms as though you're reaching to the edges of the room. That's your breath in. As you breathe out, keep your elbows where they were, but bend the elbows and bring your fingertips to your shoulders. So we're moving energy around the elbow joints. We're extending the muscles of the arms. We're relaxed in the neck. And you can maybe sense that feeling of energy or breath in the chest. Lots of space here for the breath to move in the chest. So we're working the muscles that assist breathing as well. We'll lower elbows again. You might want to shake your arms out. I do find that I can feel it in my muscles. So although they're very gentle, they are working the muscles as well. Got that physical action happening as well as the energetic intention behind these movements. So now we bring the fingertips to rest on the shoulders and we bring the elbows up and out to the sides. It's going to work these muscles here that help again control the breath and also help with movement of your shoulders. So we're just going to, with our elbows, just start to draw little circles. Try and be aware of your breath, working with your breathing. And then we'll go around the opposite direction. These are nice to do at the end of the day when you feel that you've been carrying tension in your neck and shoulders. And then we free it up. You might want to shake the arms, get the energy moving, get everything wobbling, can really, really help. You can do some little bouncy movements. So we'll do down the inside of the arm, up the outside of the arm, across the shoulder and back again. Really freeing up that energy, getting that energy to move. And what you do on one side, we need to do on the other side, because yoga is all about balance. And then because the plan I've got for us is to work a little bit more on the neck, let's just bring ourselves up nice and tall. Think about your chin being parallel to the floor, so we're not thrusting it forward, we're just nice and relaxed. Back of the neck, nice and long. And then we're just going to gently drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. So we do that often, you find you bring your shoulder up or you sway your body. So just try and drop your ear over to your shoulder. Hold it for a few breaths. Because we work quite gently, I don't recommend what some people do, the stretching out of the neck. I don't recommend that because the necks are so delicate. And usually if you're working with me, it's because we've got some kind of issues anyway. So personally, I don't suggest that we do that. We're always very careful with the neck So we come back slowly, 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 back to centre. You might want to roll the shoulders. And then, again, we check out the other side, so drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. And as always, we're not judging, but we're observing. So I can feel that I'm tighter in that right side of the neck. I'm struggling to get the ear down. So I don't say this is my bad side, I just notice this side is stiffer at this time. We can make sure we keep breathing, and on the exhales we're just letting go of any tension that might be there. And we slowly come back to the centre. You might want to roll through the shoulders. Listen to all those sounds. We sit up nice and tall and we look over the shoulder. What I do tend to find is that often we tilt the head a little bit there. So just try and keep your chin parallel to the floor. 10, to the centre, look the other way. And it can help with if you're moving your eyes as well, that can improve your range of motion, because it switches on something in your brain to understand that you're trying to go just that little bit further. We have lots of muscles in the eyes as well, so it's nice to work those a little. Again, 5 or 6 in each direction. Okay, so that's Pawan Muktasana for this session that we're going to use. So, as I say, it's a standalone practice, lovely at the end of the day, or if you wake up with an upper body stiffness as well. So I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.